Hey, I'm Sam Flying Kite, and this is The Horror Show. I could be funny and be like, this is the rebirth of The Horror Show, but whatever. And today, we're reviewing Black Mountainside. It's a indie Canadian movie by Nick... I cannot say his last name. I have no clue how to say it. Szostakiwskyj? I don't know. I'm so sorry. It's an interesting last name. Anyway, it's not rated. It came out in 2016 technically, but in 2014 it was played in a film festival, and in 2014 it was in July, and it came out in January in 2016, so like a year, or February, so like a year and a half later. This movie is a 5.1 out of 10 on IMDb. And it's an hour and 40 minutes. The best way to describe this movie, instead of it being a shape-shifting alien in Antarctica, it's an eldritch horror on the other side of the planet. That being, the movie takes place in somewhere in the Arctic up north in Canada. And there's a research station, or there's a camp, and they're, excavating and whatnot. Well, not really excavating, they're doing a lot of archaeological kind of stuff. And they find an ancient structure, which isn't like a crazy one, that's unearthed at the end. It's just, hanging around. But over the course of the movie, weird things start happening, and, you start kind of wondering, are they just going crazy, or is there something else at play? Now, I will say this movie is a bit of a slow burn, so if you're the kind of person that can't, kind of stare at nothingness, then you probably should not watch this movie. But if you're able to, then I would say you should watch it, because I would say it's a lot better than the 5.1 out of 10 on IMDb. I would say it's so much better than that. If anything, maybe like a 7 out of 10. But could I see where they're coming from when they're saying that? I could kind of see it. But ultimately, I think this is a fine movie that if you have the attention span to watch, you should go and watch it. I'm not going to do like a whole rating thing, but I'm just going to kind of talk about IMDb ratings real quick. Like, what do like 10 out of 10s, 1 out of 10 say? So the majority of people think it's a 6 out of 10. There are more 1 out of 10s than there are 10 out of 10s. And can I look at... Okay. Alright, so 1 out of 10. We'll start there. Just awful. Better do your home chores than waste an hour and a half of your life on this. Bafflingly bad. The film that could have been. Unwatchable. Holy moly, what a pile. Don't believe the hype. Fake positive ratings. Wow. Inspired by The Thing, but nothing to see here. I mean, definitely. Made me want to... I wonder what he was going to say. Took 3 days to get through 50 minutes. That's actually true. It took a while to watch the movie because I'm trying to multitask and it sucks a bit. But, like... The better do your home chores than waste an hour and a half on your life on this. It is a washed-down version of The Thing, which later had an identity crisis and wanted to become a C-grade massacre movie. Acting is bad, and so is the direction. I mean, I would kind of agree with that, but, like, only the first half. Because when you are watching the movie, it is kind of funny how the first half of it feels like A, and then the second half feels like B. So, it's a bit of a, if you like that, then you go for that. And, wash down of the version of The Thing, I mean, it's a love letter to The Thing, so of course. But I wouldn't say that the acting is bad and so is the direction. I would say that how the actors go about it is a bit odd, but when you kind of think about it, people are odd. And so when you're in a situation like that where, you're in the wilderness and it's just you and you're hearing voices and people are going crazy, then at some point you're probably going to go crazy too. But let's look at the 1 out of 10s before we're all done, because this is going to be the short version. There's the short version, the short review, and then there's going to be the longer review where I go a lot more in depth on a lot of things and go more spoiler in that. But 10 out of 10s. I can see you, Jensen. Why the bad reviews? Go to school on this one. Excellent Lovecraftian movie. A very moody, suspenseful film. Amazing, weird horror movie worth watching. The Thing meets the Babadook and doesn't spoon feed you. I actually agree with that. I have seen the Babadook once. And that's actually a really good way of explaining this movie. So, kind of back to the very beginning of this. Should you watch this? I would say you should. But if you chose not to because, it's a slow burn and, I have other things to do, then, I understand that. And, where to go and watch it. Well, that's, perfect. It's on Tubi. So commercials. That's about it. But I would say, if you haven't seen it, you go watch it at least once. Because I think it's a really good movie to watch. And of course, I love trying my best to support indie movies because one day I would love to go and make independent movies. But, anyway. Alright, so I'm Sam, Flying Kite. This is the horror show, kind of Rebirth. And, Black Mountainside. I'm not too sure how I'm going to go about, when this is going to be and when's the next one and what's that gonna be. I'm probably gonna try to do shorter movies just so I can, get through it a bit more. But anyway, I will see y'all next week, perhaps. Goodbye.